back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking through this, the Daybreak tracer unit from T238, and I'm quite excited to discuss it because it's actually something a bit different. Now, if you haven't been on the channel before, I've been doing these videos which are actually just more of a discussion video. It's not going to be edited, it's not going to be, you know, fine touch to the point. This is the kind of main things. This is just going to be my opinion, me waffling on about what I think about this product. So if you guys find that interesting, let me know. If you would rather me start cutting down these videos into more defined points, let me know as well. But I like this style because I don't like editing that much, and I think it's more of a conversation that you guys can actually listen to me rambling on and actually ask me questions in the comments, etc. YouTube disclosure, this is not a real firearm. This is an airsoft gun, it is a toy. And another disclosure for you guys is they have sent this to me for free. So the company is T238. They reached out, they said, hey, is this something you'd be interested in looking at, discussing on the channel? And I said, absolutely, I would love to do that. So they've sent it to me for free. They have not in any way said, you need to do this positively. The review is not influenced like that. So I want to give my honest opinion, the pros and the cons of what I think of this of what I think of this product. So I'm going to go through that and just kind of give you my overview of it. When I heard about this, I was quite interested because of the fact that I now use tracer units, but this is actually a tracer unit and a chronograph. So it not only colors the BBs, but it actually records the speed at which you're firing and also the rate of fire which you're firing at. Today I've actually done it displayed on a pistol. This is my Glock 45, which I've actually done some mods to. This is not the stock slide that comes with it. It's an Umarex or VFC produced model, Elite Force, sorry. And so I thought actually this might not look that great necessarily on the kind of stock black polymer slide, but sorry, metal slide, polymer body. But this, I think, because it's got those gray tones to it, looks quite cool. So I thought I would show this to you guys on a pistol, which I think is different from what really this is meant for. You may want it on something like this, your, you know, M4, this is a Mark 18 platform, PDW style, that's an MPXK, this is a GHM9, and actually I've got an MP7 behind me. Don't know if it would look as good on that. But I do think that this style of tracer, just in the size of it and actually the kind of shape of it being more boxy, square, rectangular, is probably not based for a pistol. But I thought it'd be a bit different, so I'm going to show you guys it based on that. Now, when you get it out of the box, this is the packaging. So it's kind of generic packaging, gives you a picture of it, kind of gives you an idea here. I'm going to put this down so I can show it to you. Gives you an idea here of what the actual screen looks like. If you can see here, if I can get it on here, that's an actual screen on top of the tracer. So this is kind of what the chronograph is actually going to look like when you do that, when you see it. It gives you an idea of all the colors that you can actually turn the tracers to, and actually the carbon fiber style that is on that. So it comes carbon fiber. It's not your typical, you know, black tracer unit, which I would say is most of the tracers that I've used. So it is definitely something that you may want to think, is this going to look right on my replica? It is big, that's one thing I would say, and it is heavy. The price on this is around $100. I think actually when I went to the T238 website just to double check it before I started this review, I think it says on there $120 reduced to $99. So it's going to be at that price, probably in line with most of the tracers that you're going to buy. With something this size, it's probably cheaper. And actually for something which also has a chronograph in it, I haven't come across that. So it is quite difficult for me to say this is a price point of what it is. Normally, if I'm using a tracer, which I've got over here, this is an Ace Tech tracer. These are $150, $120 anyway. So you're kind of getting a chronograph. You're getting a tracer and a chronograph for kind of the price that you would get one of those for. I'm going to use that in a minute. So this is different because of the fact that it actually has buttons and a screen on the top. I'll show you guys kind of what you see when you power it on. It's got you kind of your standard chronograph screen. I hope you guys can see this. If you hit the right button, it's got record, which is going to give you a list of all of the FPS readings if you are using it as a chronograph. and then you've got your menu. And what I really like about this is the menu. The amount of traces that I've seen with the menu is almost zero. The normal, which I've got Ace Tech traces, is the usual ones I use. You're basically reading the manual and then you're hitting buttons to try and change the color, to change the muzzle flash, to change different aspects of that, which I find really difficult because every time I change it, I have to fire off a few of the BBs just to understand, have I got that right before I want to go and play it in a game. So I like that you've actually got that, and you can see, I'll show you what's on the menu. You've got Chrono, whether you've got that on and off. So if you turn that off, I think when you're firing it as a tracer, it's not going to be doing that. You've got the tracer option, which obviously does the other thing. RGB, now that's going to be the color of your tracer. So if I show you guys here, you've actually got, when you hit the thing, you've got rainbow, dynamic, red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, pink, white, and off. So you've got a lot of options. You can obviously turn it off if you just want to use the Chrono, which I think is great. The actual controls on it are very, very easy. You've got the diameter of the actual thing you're firing, which is normally a BB. It's going to be 6mm, and the weight, so I've got 0.25 gram BBs that I'm going to be shooting to show you guys. The display, that means how long the display is going to be on for, 15 seconds, and power 20 minutes. So I think that means it's going to power off after 20 minutes. How I've used this is it actually feels like it's shake awake, or when you actually fire the first round through it, activates it, so actually you're able to use it without going through, have I powered it up, have I turned it on, is it charged? Gives you a battery indicator on here. So everything in terms of the functionality on this, I really, really like. A thing I would say about the pistol, which is why you may not want to use it with a pistol, is because it's heavy, I've got a free floating barrel on this Glock, and it does wiggle around. And I worry that actually if I'm using it with the slide, you know, not locked in place, then it's going to give quite a bit of movement. And does that affect the actual pistol? As I said, are people going to be using this on a pistol? Possibly, but it's not really what you're going to be using this for, I don't think. I do think it looks very cool on this because it's got those grey tones mixed with my grey style Glock here, Trichicon fake on there as well. So that's kind of, you know, when my first impressions, unboxed it. Another thing that I really liked, which you get, is that this actually has an adapter. So it's got a 14mm counterclockwise thread that kind of puts this little disc on there, kind of similar to one of these, which I've just got as kind of like a thread protector. And then actually you put 2 screws through the bottom here just to attach it to the thread protector that's on there. This also comes with a couple of other options. So it comes with a, I'll show you in here in the box, I think I've got this. It comes with the option to do a 16mm to 19mm. So you don't have to have this as a 14mm counterclockwise, which is your standard barrel on most things. But actually I've got a TM Sega 12K shotgun, and that has a 16mm, it might be 19mm barrel. So I can actually take this, which you can see is adjustable. I can attach it onto the end of the barrel, and actually through tightening the screws which are in place, I can make sure that actually works on that. Again, you know, if you're thinking about, I want to get a tracer, have I got a 14mm barrel to put it on? This basically allows you to take a tracer and to put it on multiple different replicas, which I think again is a big plus. So I'll show you actually guys what this is like before we go through and give you the pros and the cons. I've got this set to green. I've got green tracer BBs in here. I've got my little tent here behind, so I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. But I've got green tracer BBs in here. They're 0.25, so I have that set up on the tracer as 0.25. And again, it was very easy to do. So I'm going to show you guys now what that looks like. And it's not that dark in here, but I do think the tracer is very effective at, you know, actually lighting up the BBs. So you should be able to see quite a good effect, even though it's not very dark in here, which is where you would normally use tracers. Apologies, I've only got, I could only find in my garage just now this is eye protection. Normally I would wear something that is clear when it's dark, but these sunglasses will have to do for now because safety, always wear eye protection when you are firing your replica. So I'm going to show you guys now quickly what that looks like. So we're going to show you here. I don't want to shoot my wall. So you can see there what the green tracer is doing. I think this is actually running out of gas. So I'm going to get another one in here. So you can see there you've got some muzzle flash and you've actually got that. It is showing here as I fire 269 as the FPS on the actual chrono. If I hit the next button, it's showing me the spread there of what there is. I was definitely running out of gas because the first few were 168 and 200. So that wasn't exactly the most, the best test to show you guys straight out. But what I'm going to do quickly now is I'm going to show you what it is like compared to the regular chrono and if it's effective. Again, with this one, I've got it set at 0.25. So I'm going to try and fire it through here and get the reading on both of these. So that is 165 and yeah, so here you go guys, that's 165.9 is what it's showing there. And this one is showing as 165.2. So there is some deviation there. I can take this off and make sure I'm not gonna do any accidents with that. There is some variation there, but it is minor. So I would say that the chrono seems to work really well. The tracer works really well. So if it's a product you're thinking, is it actually gonna work? Is it gonna do what I think I need it to do? I would not have any hesitation in that. Now, what we're going to do is talk through some of the pros. So obviously it's a chrono, super useful if that's what you're looking to buy, that's great. The adaptable colors I think is great. I've got green tracer BBs in here. I haven't actually tested, although actually we could do that now. Let's do that now. Let's test quickly if this is going to, I'm going to set this RGB to, let's say, let's go with rainbow. And see what that does. Okay, so this is with the RGB on rainbow. If I actually put a magazine in it, that might help. So that is pretty much just showing green for me. As I said, these are green tracers, so that's probably why. But I have seen some other reviews on YouTube where influencers have actually fired them and they have actually showed how it reacts in the dark especially. As I said, it's pretty light here. So I would say it works in every single one of those environments from what I've seen. I haven't tested that myself because I only have green tracer BBs here. It does look cool. I like it, but I do think that can be quite polarizing. It's a very individual looking tracer. And some people are absolutely going to love it, and I'm sure some people are not going to like it. Because one of the main things I think is it's a suppressor style tracer, which nearly all of them are, unless they're inside the actual replica. And it does not look like real steel. I generally run real steel almost everything in terms of what it looks like. I'm more of a milsim guy than I am a speed softer. I think this is more based at your speed softer than it is based on your milsim kind of person, because it's not really recreating anything. It's well built. It feels, really solid. When I got it out, the packaging, I'll show you it off the actual, actually no, I won't. I'm going to show you something off before that. It's well built. It's very solid. It has got bolts and screws the whole way through it. This carbon fiber looks very good quality. It's kind of got your laser etching in here. So it's probably better quality than I was expecting kind of when I saw it online and just, pictures of it. So it's well built. The menu, that's a big plus for me. Being able to actually scroll through that menu and see what I'm selecting is such a time saver. And it's something that's very easy. It's actually, the interface has been done well. I think that's pretty hard to do, especially on something this size. There's 4 buttons on it, 5 buttons on it. You can go through things. I literally opened it up and I figured it out in about 10 seconds. So I really like that. The chrono readings are accurate. That's obviously very important because if you're using it as a chrono, you need it to be accurate, because if you are chronoing, actually before you go to a site, you want to know that you're below that limit or, what you're firing at. So that works great. The adapters of different sizes, really like that. I think that's a real plus, because actually it means that you don't just have to use it on your standard threaded barrel. Cons. Now, it is unique looking, as I said, pro or a con, that's going to go either way. It's square, so, or it's probably rectangle, but it is, the design is not your cylinder, and that is very easy to screw on because when you've got a cylinder, it doesn't really matter with alignment. This definitely does matter with alignment. I've got an O-ring right here, so it actually allows me to kind of tighten it more than I would do, but otherwise you may have to play around with it. I think one option that you do have is to put the inner ring on and then screw it on top, which is something you could do. But what I realized is I like to put a flashlight on the bottom of my pistol, and that means that I have to remove the flashlight to get to the actual screws. So I'll show you where the screws are. If I do this, the screws that you have to put in are right there. And so this is actually blocking that. It's not a major issue. It's not hard to take that off. And it is a lot easier to get the alignment, if I can actually get this thing back on. It's a lot easier to get the alignment on there if you don't have the flashlight and you can just screw it on directly. But if you are doing that, it might be more difficult. So it needs to be aligned. The square shape isn't great. It won't fit in most holsters. Now, you do have tracer units that are kind of the same profile as the barrel. Normally it's an open bottomed holster, so you can put them in. Generally, if I'm using a holster with a suppressor, I've got a specific holster that will take a suppressor. I think the size of this, it's going to mean it's quite hard to actually fit it in most of those holsters. One thing that I do know though, and I actually use when I use this pistol with this light, is you can get holsters like this, which actually instead of fixing to the pistol, fix to the actual light. So I tested this out before and it fits. So if any of you guys are thinking, I'm going to run it on a pistol, again, it's not meant for a pistol, I don't think. But if you are thinking, am I going to be able to, there are holsters out there. I can actually get it off. There are holsters out there which will just kind of attach to the pistol. This is a TLR1, so you can find these. They're not the easiest things to find, but you can find them. And so that's an option, but it generally is not going to fit in holsters if you're running it on a pistol. It's going to make your PDW or your AR style replica a lot longer as well. Well, not a lot longer, but it's going to make it longer, less wieldy. One thing that I am not sure about, and I'm not going to test it, but it's something probably that I should reach out to T238 and ask is this going to break if it gets hit with a BB? It's obviously a screen, and I presume they would have engineered it that if it's being used as a tracer, indoor close range, CQB environments, that this would be hard enough to withstand a hit from a BB. But that is one thing that popped into my head straight away. It's great to have the screen, but does the screen actually crack if it's directly hit? I don't know. Let's see if T238 can make a response. If you've tested that yourself, which if you have, it's $100 risked, so good on you, but it's something that I thought about, so that could be a con, could not be, something just to put in your head. It is heavy for the free floating barrel. I kind of have created this issue for myself because I don't think most people are going to use it in a pistol environment, pistol platform, but free floating barrel, it's heavy. You may have a free floating barrel like this Mark 18, obviously that's a lot more solid, but it's something that is kind of weighing on the barrel, whereas a normal tracer, which is quite light, may not do that. And sometimes the adapters, as I've said with this light here, are quite difficult to align. I think once you've got it on, you've got it on, but quick removal, quick putting it on, you're going to need an Allen key to do those screws. It may not be as easy as other tracers to do. So guys, I think that gives me kind of the overview of this. I do think if you want to create a tracer, you want a chronograph and you like the look of it, get it. That would be my advice. I really like it. I'm very glad that they've sent it to me. I think it's very well built. I think it does what it says, which is fantastic for a product. And I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people. I think there are people who aren't going to be interested in it, but I don't think there's any downsides if it's something you like the look of and you're thinking, should I get this or not? I would say it's worth it for sure. Hopefully that's been interesting to you guys and of value. As I said, these discussions can go on for a while and you may be like, this is just a waste of my time and I've turned off. I'm going to be able to see that from the stats on this video. But I hope you guys are great wherever you are. I'm going to be doing more and more reviews. I'm actually back in my house now, so I've got the option to do those reviews. So I'll be doing more and more of those, talking through different topics. So if there's anything you want me to talk through, put in the comments below. As always, if you subscribe, you like, that'd be great for me and the channel. But I hope you guys are good wherever you are, and I will speak to you on a video very soon. Goodbye.